Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic both head into the 2019 Australian Open men's singles final in imposing form, and with chances to rewrite the record books once again. Here are the incredible records the pair can both set if they are victorious in the final. More tennis. NEWSRAFA DJOKER 2, repeat of Greatest House Open final, maybe even BETTERSEMI, practically perfect. DJOKER thumps POUILLE to set up mega final. RAFAGRAPHIC, horrific image shows miracle of Open stars comeback make. Sure you win. Dad 059 The race to pass Fed. Just when we thought Roger Federer might be safe at the top on 20 slams, we're guaranteed to see one of his closest rivals close the gap. The Swiss ace will still be clear no matter the result of the next two majors, but if Nadal wins the final, things will be getting mighty tight. The Spaniard currently sits on 17 slams, meaning a Melbourne Park win followed by a likely Roland Garros triumph would put Nadal on 19, just one behind Federer heading into Wimbledon. Djokovic can claim outright third place all-time with a win in the final, moving out of his current tie on 14 with Pete Sampras. If the Joker does win on Sunday, and he wins Wimbledon and the US Open this year as he did in 2018, he could be just one behind or even tied with Nadal by the year's end, and just a handful behind Federer. Current slams leaderboard: Roger Federer 20, 6 Australian Opens, 1 French Open, 8 Wimbledons, 5 US Opens. Rafael Nadal 17, 1 Australian Open, 11 French Opens, 2 Wimbledons, 3 US Opens. Novak Djokovic 14, 6 Australian Opens, 1 French Open, 4 Wimbledons, 3 US Opens. Pete Sampras 14, 2 Australian Opens, 7 Wimbledons, 5 US Opens. Roy Emerson 12, 6 Australian Opens, 2 French Opens, 2 Wimbledons, 2 US Opens. Rod Laver 11, 3 Australian Opens, 2 French Opens, 4 Wimbledons, 2 US Opens. Joker sets up All-Star Final 350. Rafael Nadal. Headline is clear for Rafa, he can do something neither Federer or Djokovic have done if he wins this year's Australian Open. Nadal would become the first man in the Open era to win a career double Grand Slam, 2 titles at each of the 4 majors, and the 3rd overall, following Roy Emerson and Rod Laver. He would also join Laver and Federer as the only men to have won 4 Slam titles in their 30s. More tennis. NEWSWHO says she can't win at home. Stosur claims US Open doubles title completely wrong. Rafa refutes. Aggressive. CLAIMG. OAT in the making. Stunning way Rafa could trump Fed. Joker. I'm trying to think how Fed beat him. Greek freak. Baffled by Rafa. A dominant tournament so far has Nadal set up to become the first man in history to win 4 slams without dropping a set. The Spaniard has done it 3 times so far, unsurprisingly all at the French Open, 2008, 2010, 2017. That has him tied with Bjorn Borg, 1978, 1980, French Opens, 1976, Wimbledon, Tony Trabert, 1955, Wimbledon, 1953, 1955, US Opens, and Richard Sears, 1881, 1882, 1883, US Opens. Nadal would join Federer, 2007, and Rosewell, 1971, as the only men to have won the Australian Open without dropping a set. He would also become the 4th person to win 2 different slams without dropping a set, joining Borg, Trabert and Federer. 2007 Australian Open, 2017 Wimbledon. Nadal has only won 1 Australian Open so far. In 2009, source, AFPIF. Nadal does win the 2019 title, it will mark the longest gap between a man's first and second Australian Open championships, with it being 10 years since his 2009 title. That would surpass the current record holder John Bromwich, who won in 1939 and then 1946, although that was to some degree because of World War II seeing the Open cancelled for a number of years. In the non-war division, the leaders are Rodney Heath, 1905 to 1910, Andre Agassi, 1995 to 2000, and Boris Becker, 1991 to 1996. McEnroe's nude Rafa story 035. Novak Djokovic. Much like Rafa, the headline record is clear for Djokovic, 7. A 2019 crown would be the world number 1 7th Australian Open title, putting him clear and first ahead of Roger Federer and Roy Emerson, who both sit on 6. The Australian Open is the only slam that doesn't have a 7-time or better winner. The US Open was won 7 times by Richard Sears, William Larned and Bill Tilden, all of those coming pre-Great Depression. Federer has 8 Wimbledon titles, while Nadal's 11 French Open crowns may never be surpassed, except by Rafa himself. Rafa's remarkable winner 0-30. Only a few men have ever won 7 of any one slam. Sears, Larned, Tilden, Federer and Nadal as mentioned above, but also William Renshaw and Pete Sampras, who each won 7 Wimbledons. Djokovic can also plant a flag as the clear best player in the world right now with a win in the final. It would be his 3rd slam victory in a row, following Wimbledon and the US Open last year. No man has ever won 3 slams or more in a row 3 times. Previously Djokovic has strung together streaks of 4, Wimbledon 2015 to French Open 2016, and 3, Wimbledon 2011 to Australian Open 2012.